welcome back, everyone, to Way Better NPCs. Thanks for tuning in again. Subscribe, like, do all that stuff. We really appreciate it. Send it to whoever you'd like. The more views, the better. So
Share it.
This
Share
is
it. There
our
you go.
this is our last video of the year. Before we start with our topic, I want to thank these guys for bringing me on and letting me do this. It's a good pandemic talk, so thanks, guys. Appreciate that.
You're very welcome.
But
We
since
love having you.
Thank you. Oh, so. But since it's the end of the year, we have to talk about the games of the year, right? So let's start with everything that's been going on with my life, which I've played nothing this year. I barely played anything. I played 3 new games this year. All of my games that I played were
games from 5 years ago.
Exactly. So
Spoiler, first 3 games of the year. Jesus.
Yeah, right.
So I played 3 new games this year. So why don't we go around? Why don't we talk about our top 3 games? And I'll go last since my list is going to be really quick.
Let me go first because
are we going 3 through 1 or are we doing countdown like 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2?
I was just gonna give 3, and I truthfully don't know my order. I just know these are the 3 games that were. No, I got it. We'll do your top favorite to least favorite. Yeah.
Cool.
3, 2, 1. So I literally just brought up the list, and I was telling the guys this the other night that in 2020, like there's been more games than I thought they came out, and I'm going through the top 50 of Polygon, and I'm getting to like the top 10 right now. Okay, well, 1. They have The Last of Us 2 at 19 and Assassin's Creed Valhalla at 18. So Gregg's gonna be mad about that. And Fall Guys at 17. Anyways, I'm gonna give this game, I'm gonna put it on there because of the quality of the game. I didn't finish the game personally, but I think my list is going to be more predictable, I'd say.
Cyberpunk number 1.
But yeah, Cyberpunk, we're gonna have to put you at number 1 because you changed my no, that's a talk for another time. Anyways,
change the game.
I'm putting Ghost of Tsushima for me at number 3. And I honestly, the only reason I'm putting the game on my top 3 is because I feel like I did not play a lot of games in 2020. Like when I tell you I looked at this list yesterday of the games that came out in 2020, there were a lot more than I really like knew about. And I feel like it was either the pandemic or maybe I'm just a AAA platformer gamer and I don't really look into a lot of games outside of this. But Ghost of Tsushima was definitely my number 3 out of my top 3. I didn't beat the game. I got to a point where it kind of felt like I was not really interested in it anymore. And I'm not saying it's a bad game by any means. Like from what I played, I probably was like halfway through it, maybe 3/4 of it. I enjoyed it. It felt fresh. The story was, from what I played, again, it was interesting. It kept me going. It got to a point with me where it was like I felt like I was playing an Assassin's Creed game just with samurais. So once I start doing side missions, I kind of like get in the midst of losing the story, and then once I lose interest in playing the story, I just stop. And that's where I was with that. My number 2 was Last of Us 2. Last of Us 2 before Cyberpunk was the most controversial game of 2020, if not the past decade. Controversial in a way that I feel was unfair to that game. I think the leak really screwed how people perceive that game, and it was really unfair to Naughty Dog, the developers that, put the time, put the work in to create a game. I'm not going to sit here and say Last of Us 2 was a masterpiece, but I think it was pretty damn close. The story was phenomenal to me. I get where people got lost. I get where people disliked, what was her name? Abby section of it. I get that, Joel dying and you not being interested in the story anymore, like turned you off. But it's like, I feel like the game would have been perceived a lot better if that leak of Joel didn't come out 2 weeks or however many days before the game dropped. I think they got a very unfair shake of things when it dropped. Game was great. The story was great to me. the pacing kind of midway through, you get the fatigue a little bit. And I got it. It kind of almost turned me off once you went from Ellie to Abby, because you felt like you were doing that first half over again. But luckily it was only for like 2 or 3 missions. And then my number one was, and this is because I'd never played the original, was Final Fantasy. I I thought that, and again, like, we went through a pandemic right when, or we were going through the pandemic when Final Fantasy came out, the remake. What was it? 17? Not 17. 7. Sorry, 7.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
7
it was
remake.
like, especially like for someone who never played the original, I needed a story to get lost in. I needed like something to play where I was like wowed by that game. I wanted to do everything in 7. I wanted more every time I played it. And that, like, I guess that's what like decided my number one. You know, if a game can keep me on the edge and keep me wanting to play and not put it down in one playthrough and try to beat it in one playthrough, like, you're going to get my number one. And that was Final Fantasy for me. Like, the visuals of it, the story, like, you felt connected to the characters. You felt for the characters when they were like in a bad like moment in that game. So Final Fantasy gets my number one. I don't know who else wants to go after me.
I'll pop after you. I feel like there's some similarities. My number 3 was gonna be Ghost of Tsushima. I thought about this a while, but you covered it. I think you spoke to it perfectly. I did finish it. It was fun. It was great. Storytelling was beautiful. World was beautiful. Cool way to do new AI, or sorry, open world AI, like the hub. Really cool.
Yeah.
Sucker Punch kind of took a
Sucker
step.
Punch is always a consistent studio, like, with their games. So
They have been, and they
They'll
really
get
took
me.
a step to like kind of open up that world.
right.
That's all I'll say on that, because I do like to extend our list to more than 3, but for my number 3, I'm gonna extend an olive branch. I could have done all PlayStation games, but I'm gonna extend the olive branch in a good act of goodwill. It's the end of 2020. We need some peace and love. Ori and the Will of the Wisps is my number
Like that.
3.
Oh, we need some peace and love.
I'm gonna cross the lines, go over to Xbox, and say that this game was one of the best games I've played of the year. I finished Breath of the no, sorry, not Breath. What was the first Ori called?
The
Blind
Forest.
Blind
Forest.
Forest.
Finished that up, and then hopped into Will of the Wisps. Will of the Wisps really expands on what Blind Forest did. It was awesome on the new generation. They got that 120 frames per second in 4K, which is sweet. It makes the game look and run beautifully.
Dude, that game looked good even on the Xbox
Oh
One
my god,
X.
it looked
Like,
great
it
before.
looked beautiful before.
I played it before it was 120. I played it after. It looks so good. It runs beautifully. The game is just a great platformer where it's just such that like Metroidvania feel of you want to go back and, oh, I saw that thing that I couldn't do before, and let me go after it. Let me like go, like, I want to go. And big trophy guy here. I just wanted to clear the map. I wanted to open up new regions regardless of, getting the trophies, because I don't give a shit about achievements. Those are stupid. But no trophies. I still wanted to go do it all. There's times like even in this game I got stuck and it was like, what am I doing wrong? And you just run around and like, oh, you come back to it, a few days later, you're figuring out new ways. It was just like the perfect level of like difficulty and puzzling, and it ran so well. It was a lot of fun. Ori Will of the Wisps, number 3 game of the year. I think it fell into an area that got overlooked too. Like, it came out in March. It came out right around Final Fantasy. It came out right around some other big games. And like, I feel like Blind Forest got a lot of love and this game didn't for some reason. And this one deserved more. It deserved more.
There was some problems with it at the launch. Like, it wasn't running it doesn't run now. People said that if it was running like this, it was now game of the year.
Yeah, like to pull up the map, it literally like would take like 5 minutes, and then like it would take like 2 minutes to reload it. Like, it was really like a hassle to like see where you are. But like playing
Okay.
it still played really well, but like
Yeah,
some
like,
of the stuff was.
I may have just came in at the right time. Like I came in at the console jump. I came in when it's running beautifully. I came in when it's running.
You got it at
So
its best.
maybe this is something that like my experience pushes this to 3, where if you were diehard and you jumped in day 1 and you
wouldn't
got
have
that
the same
crappy experience, that sucks.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people do for a lot of games, but for me, where I jumped in, number 3, extend the olive branch, Xbox Love, throw it up. That's all you'll get though, because number 2, we're going to Final Fantasy VII Remake. I think Santino talked about it pretty well. I think a reason that like someone like Santino, and I know Rob loves this game as well, but like, I mean, have you played it?
No, but go ahead.
Did you
go
play
ahead.
the original?
Okay, I didn't
Original,
want.
original, yeah,
Yeah,
back in
I
the
gotta
didn't
play this one.
I didn't want to leave
PS1,
you out,
sure.
but I think like Santino and Rob, right? Like you guys are anime guys, right? You like
Yeah.
that, and I think it's such like the JRPG, but like it kind of combines with those Final Fantasy VII animes that kind of combine the game and the storytelling and all that. Like
Yeah.
it does kind of fit together with that heavy JRPG style, but they really modernized it. It's crazy to me. Like this game should not have worked. Think about like the internet. You mess up what people love, like you don't do exactly
yeah.
the remake you want. Like you get
Like such an iconic game.
tortured.
Yeah.
You get raked across the coals. They said, nope, we have an idea. We're not doing turn-based. We're doing this style we think is the best. And they pulled it off.
I'm gonna be honest.
not
If it
doing
was
the
turn-based, I
story.
wouldn't have liked it.
No,
I wouldn't have kept playing it.
I mean, I would have liked it, but not at the level I did. And hey, we're gonna do the story, but we're gonna give little twists and turns here, and we're gonna change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And like it all worked. This game should not have worked. It took forever. I'm surprised it actually came out. I didn't believe it.
It's true.
It came out. It was awesome. The combat was not only like it wasn't turn-based, but it was like an innovation on that style.
Yeah, it was smooth. That's what made it so fluent to me.
It's so good. They they made turn-based into action, which was just like kinetic, and like you felt like every move and you were planning ahead like a turn-based game, but you were doing it on the fly and you were switching between characters. It was like you used your party base in your combat. Like I can't get over, like a lot of people underplay the combat. That combat was awesome.
That combat was good.
And it really made a term, like it felt the same in terms of how you manage your party, how you plan attacks. It's turn-based, but you're doing it on the fly. Can't give enough props to that game. Can't wait for the next one. Don't rush it, Square.
10 years.
You guys did
10
great.
Years.
Can't wait. Give me 10 years. I'll take it.
I'll play the shit out of it. 10 years, absolutely.
PS7. Give it to me.
PS7.
All right. And then no surprises if you've watched our old videos. Santino said it earlier. Last of Us Part 2.
I knew your ass was gonna pick that. I knew it was gonna be one for you.
It's like it might be one of my favorite games.
Yeah,
like
I figured yours. I knew your list. I don't think I know anybody else's list.
Well, Santino won't argue why it's a masterpiece. I will. And here's 60 minutes on.
Wait, before you go, no. Before you say why you think it's a masterpiece, I'm like me saying it's not a masterpiece. It's a 9.8, 9.9 for me.
Okay.
Like I really enjoyed it, but I there's still flaws to it. There's still
Double
parts in the
down.
Story.
Call it a 7, you coward. No, I'm just kidding.
No. Like there's still like for me a masterpiece. There has to be like there's nothing I disliked, and that's why Cyberpunk's a masterpiece. Go ahead, Greg.
Wait, before you go, I am so excited to play this game.
Last of Us 2 or Cyberpunk?
Yes, no, I have to beat Cyberpunk first. So
turn that shit off. Just play Last of Us.
No, I might have to close this monitor. Just please, no spoilers. I haven't.
Oh
no,
yeah, Greg,
don't.
My bad, Amit, if I spoiled that.
No, you're good. I saw those leaks. So
okay, good.
Yeah, just don't get overhyped because of what I say. But turn off Cyberpunk and play it.
Yes, please turn off
and play.
Cyberpunk and go play Last of
I
Us.
love
please.
Cyberpunk.
Yo. Can I just take a second? How come Cyberpunk is catching all these strays? This isn't even supposed to be about that. But every time we get a chance, just a random shot fired at it.
Side note, I'm loving Cyberpunk. I love it.
Yeah,
I kind of really enjoy it, but
it's dog shit. Never mind. Go ahead, Greg.
Last of Us Part 2. Okay, let's go. The game Last of Us Part 1 was amazing. Very linear story, 2 characters. It builds this relationship, and that's why we loved it, right? The giraffe comes in, people are crying. Oh my God. It's so emotional. This connection between the two, the struggle.
R.I.P. Sarah.
All this, they get to the end, right? And it's a beautiful game. I love it.
Cyberpunk.
A beautiful game.
Last of Us Part 2. They take all that they built up. Great game. They take all that they built up, and it's payoff. It's payoff. And it's not the way you expect, but it is just payoff on that emotion. It digs into that emotion you grabbed from the first game, and it twists it, it turns it, it makes you feel those emotions again, but from different perspectives. It turns your perspective without being, well, the spoiler Santino stuff, but the Abby, you twist your perspective, and it really pushes the narrative further. It's when you get to the twist, everyone's first reaction in that moment is, "Oh my God, we're really doing this? We're really gonna do this?"
Yeah, we're gonna.
And oh my God, does it pay off? There are scenes in that game, the fire on the island. Like, this is just broad terms. Try not to spoil it. The fire on the island,
the closing scene,
the closing scenes, the conflicts, the close quarter conflicts, even the weird turns where it becomes almost a horror game, like a Resident Evil. It's like, oh my goodness, all these scenes are so good.
And you just visually appreciate that game, like the way I'm talking
story alone.
The technical aspects, PS5 too.
The technical aspects, I can't wait till we get a PS5.
Right. The upgrades, it's a great game.
And one last ricochet. But when people are like, "Oh, well, like, why would you expect Cyberpunk to run on a PS4?" It's like, well, have you seen The Last of Us? And of course, there's more like moving pieces.
Obviously, it's an open world game,
but like, that's why like the average consumer would expect it, because they can make games look great, and Naughty Dog made this game look.
Even Spider-Man. Spider-Man's an open world game. It looked great.
Yeah. Yep. All those things, they looked great. This game, I don't know. Last of Us Part 2, I get it. The spoilers piss people off. It's fucking 2020. What doesn't piss people off? I don't know. I don't give a shit what pisses people off. I know I played this game twice through.
We're talking about video games, Greg.
I loved this game thoroughly each time. You just, like, back to people talk about video games as art. Like, if you want to describe, like, why do you play video games? Oh, those are for kids, whatever bullshit people will say. It's like, all right, I'd rather spend my, hours playing this game than watching any TV show. Yeah. Like, I will feel more, I will experience more, I will have more of a connection to this than watching Wonder Woman, 10 times. This game is art. This is the reason I play video games. I love the competitive stuff. I love, playing PGA 2K with you. I love all those things, but sitting down and experiencing a story,
you get lost in it. You
just end to end feel the emotion of the characters. Like, I love movies. I love TV, and the interactive nature of Last of Us Part 2 and the story and the emotion and the narrative and all these things, it takes you down. One of my favorite games of all time, and definitely the best of 2020. So those are my top 3.
Honorable mention is Cyberpunk.
Honorable mention, was Ghost of Tsushima.
I didn't give my honorable mention.
But I extended an olive branch with Ori. So I'm
going to give my honorable mention after Amit goes, because I know Rob didn't play this game, but Amit has. So go ahead, Rob.
Oh, okay. Well, cool. I'm so glad we get honorable mentions because I actually made 5 before we decided on 3. Um,
So you can have 2 honorable mentions.
yeah. So honorable mention goes to Spider-Man Miles Morales. I had a great time.
Mhm.
You know,
I
I
like it.
think
Mhm.
only issue with it is I feel like it was too short for it to be $50. If it was 30 or 40, I think I would have been
It's a 30
satisfied.
buck game.
It's $50.
Damn.
It's like the trade-off. Like it's kind of a $40 game, but now it's a next gen, so it's 50.
$10
It's 50.
more.
Yeah.
Right?
Get
Like
fucked, consumer.
Bro, but it's 50 on PS4. That's where I played it. I was like,
No
yeah, that's what
way.
I'm saying. Yeah, if it
Is
was
it?
Yeah,
like,
it is.
yeah, if it was like
is.
30 or 40, I would have been like completely fine with its length. But 50, I was like, oh, this
So-
must be bigger than I expected, and it wasn't. It was
It's a
very.
problem
So
with
you
the
say
backwards
it was true to a
compatibility.
7-8 hour game?
If I mainlined it, I could have done that in like 5 probably.
Yeah.
Yep.
Damn, that sucks. Because that's probably what I'm
Um,
gonna do.
You haven't
and
played it yet?
I don't have a
he's
console.
waiting. He's waiting for the PS5 version. He doesn't want a PS4.
Oh, the
Um,
3080 doesn't play that. Oh,
I don't have a
never mind.
3080.
I'm just kidding. That was a
That
ricochet
was a
shot.
shade.
I didn't mean that ricochet shot.
Oh,
The
bro.
2070 still
2 for
gets 250
Jesus
FPS, bitch.
Christ. Um,
I didn't mean that. I'm sorry.
and I initially was gonna put Last of Us in my 3, but it's gotten a lot of love, so I'll give that the honorable mention.
That's fair.
Because it was on the lower end of my 3, because like I agree with everything they said. Because especially the art point, I think that's the most important part to me. I think when you think about video games as being like a serious medium now, I think the conversation about Last of Us is the perfect example of that, of something that can be picked apart and interpreted in so many ways. Like I even though it was a lot of negativity, I fucking love the shitstorm that fucking news cycle was when that game came out. Because I just enjoyed the good takes and bad takes and all the conversation. Because that's what I'm a very social person about, like how I game. I'm not very like hardcore about it. So I just like to have conversations, like to play things together. So that's why I gave that one the honorable mention. But my number 3, which I thought was iffy, but technically this version of the game came out this year, and I'm gonna give it to Call of Duty Warzone, which is its own thing, free to play. You know what I'm
Fair.
saying? Um, Warzone, because like last gen gave us the games as service and the battle royale genres. You know what I'm saying? And Call of Duty Warzone, I feel like did a lot of great things for the genre. For me personally, like I like battle royales because they get my like heart racing. um, and I think what they did with like the contracts and the loadouts and stuff like that, these like little things that they added to it really gave me focus. So I played other battle royales. I was very much like, oh, I don't
I
know
just
where to
gotta
go
kill to
now.
win.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
trying to figure out where to
You just
go.
gotta
Like it
kill to
really
win.
allowed me to kind of. I like playing it because it's even
Gives
when I
you
don't see
strategy.
people, it gives me strategy. It gives me something
Yeah.
to do. It kind of guides me in my game versus just being on a big ass map and like hoping I don't get fucking
Destroyed by a
sandwiched
random
between
guy
people.
500
You know what I
yards
mean?
out. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Warzone is 'cause I think Fortnite does stuff like that now too and shit. Like although they steal everything, but
Uh,
Warzone definitely
all
just
for
like
that.
yeah.
I played a lot of Warzone with some friends at the beginning of the year. Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
That's like become the battle
Yeah,
royale.
I think it's just so good. I think they did so much right with it, and I like really fuck with it a lot.
Mhm.
My number 2 is gonna go to Ori. I played Ori during the pandemic as well early on. I think Santino watched me stream getting
Yeah.
fucking murdered
The
by
the
this
toad or
the
whatever it
fucking
was.
frog, bro.
Frog.
Yo, man, that was the roughest fucking like 3 days of my life. I couldn't beat that frog for shit. I think I did it out of order because every video they had way more power ups than me, and I'm just like,
Yeah,
why am
Rob
I
was
getting
like just
destroyed?
determined to beat it. He's like, I'm not coming back to this. I'm gonna beat you.
Yeah, it was tough, but like I love like I'm very big on like music and like not even just like video games, but like movies and media period. And I think the score on Ori is just like phenomenal. Like I felt like I was like playing a fucking Disney movie. Like it was like that
Absolutely.
pretty, the music, like
Yeah.
all of it just it's like chills all the time. I'm like, oh, this is so good.
First, they had that One Piece note at the end of
Oh,
Ori.
Oh, you
It's
know it.
over.
You
That's number one.
tears, tears. Yeah. So I had a really good time with it. Like, just like it. I didn't know if I would like it because I didn't play the first one.
Mhm.
But I heard good things, and then like I just needed something to do. And Game Pass and all that stuff. So it definitely like really like scratched an itch for me and made me realize how much I enjoyed platformers. Kind of brought me back to like an earlier stage in my life, and yeah, it just ticks so many boxes for me that it just felt like really good. And my number one, you guys already know, man. Final Fantasy VII remake.
sir.
Oh my god, it's
Yes,
so
sir.
fucking
Yes,
good,
sir.
bro. It's so good, and it's so weird, like, cause I like it. I've been trying to analyze why I like it so much, cause it just keeps coming back to my head. You know what I mean? Like, how many months has it been? Like, wait, this came out.
It's a game I'll always remember.
It's been like 8 months, and I'm still thinking about it. I still need the feeling back. Give me the feeling, man. It's so it's so good. Like you said about the combat, like the materia system, the way they applied it, like it's so satisfying. You get new weapons, new slots, and then you see it, like, you know, you get the fire on your sword, and then you get the lightning, and then oh my gosh, it's just so good. It's so good in so many ways.
I mean, now you have to play it.
Bro,
They mix
and
the
it's on the list.
classic story with the perfect gameplay to match
It's
it.
just,
Bro,
it's just so
it's
good all
so
around. There's
good.
not one bad thing about it. For
it
me.
is like
When you're done,
You want to play it again.
the trophy list makes it so fun to play again.
the
The trophy list makes it so fun
A
to
resident
play
trophy
again.
collector, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen.
I'm just saying,
Do you have the platinum?
yeah.
That's everything.
Oh,
What do you mean?
he's different.
Disrespect Greg like that?
I don't
Yeah,
you
yeah,
think,
platinum.
don't you have to like do like a crazy hard playthrough or something? That's
Yeah,
like,
Greg does
Yeah,
this.
you play it on
Greg does
hard and you
this.
got to complete all the hard challenges, and yeah, it's so
Oh,
fun.
he's
You
just
just
built
wanted to do it.
different.
Like
He's built
it,
different.
Built different.
didn't-
That's right.
it didn't feel like a task like many do.
yeah.
That trophy felt fun. Like I finished it and I didn't feel like I was done. And usually like a game like that where it's A to B, like right, it ends. It's
Yeah,
not
you're
like
done
open
with it
world
when
to
it ends.
explore.
Yeah.
It's not like that. It's very hard to get me to replay. Like if there's a platinum where I have to replay a linear
You'll
game,
take off some time.
I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah.
This game made me like when I was done, I wasn't done with it. I wanted to get back in there.
I
Yeah.
wanted part 2 right away, bro. I was
Bro, same. I'm just like, well,
I
the thing
still do.
with it
But
too
you-
is like it's like really like it's to bring it back to like the whole thing with like Last of Us and everything, like the conversation on that game, because it's like a classic game and people like know all the like the most of the main like plot twists and plot points and stuff,
Yeah.
and like the things that they did with it, like to make it different. Like our friend Kaylee, like she like plays all the Final Fantasy games and stuff, and like we would legit like talk for like hours about the changes and what that means for like part 2 and 3 and
Mhm.
all that stuff. And it's just like they did it in such a clever way that like it's just like this is so good. It has no
It's so
business
good.
being as good as it is.
Yeah, it's
I
You
mean,
know,
they
it's so
literally
good.
pulled in things from the animes. They pulled in things from the handheld games, like all the different Final Fantasy VII, like adjacent media. They pulled stuff in, like Zack and things like that. It's like,
Mhm.
wait, what are you guys doing here?
Yeah,
Which
and now
makes you wonder,
anything
like,
can happen.
what's 2 gonna be? And that's awesome. Like,
Yeah.
take your time. Don't rush it out because we're all excited. Take your time, but give it to me now. Give it
Yeah,
to me tomorrow,
facts.
right?
Fact. It's a special game. It's really special. So
So
that's
good.
my game of the year by a mile.
Love it.
I feel like my game of the year should be games I need to play to be games of the year now, right?
Yeah, this
Like-
list might be a little different.
Like
Amit's 2021 game of the year will be these 3 games.
exactly. It's like, what's my game of the year this year? God of
Yeah.
War 20.
Amit's gonna be behind one
Right?
year every year.
Yeah, exactly.
Game
No,
of the year.
luckily,
Amit, I got questions to cover you. Don't worry.
yeah, no,
Those are coming up.
Yes. All right. So no, games I need to play. Here we go. Number 1 game I need to play, I think, is Last of Us 2. 2 is Final Fantasy 7.
Hmm
3, Hades. But I'm waiting until this pandemic's over. I'm gonna download it on my Switch. I'm gonna go on vacation somewhere, play it on the
Play it
way
on
there,
vacation.
play it at night, all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like at what am I gonna do? My kids go to sleep at 7 or 8.
7 o'clock. Yeah.
Midnight, I'll
I
be
thought
there
you
like
were just like, I need to wait till pandemic's over. I really need to play Hades in public. I need to be around people.
Everyone needs to see
Absolutely.
me play this game.
look at me
Go
play
play
this
Hades at
roguelike.
the mall. Who knows?
You
I
can
don't know.
catch
what
a
you-
meet on Twitch playing Hades in Woodfield Mall.
yes.
No, I need to play those games. All right. So I spent 2020 playing all the games I missed, right? And that's all the PlayStation games. We're playing Spider-Man, we're playing God of War, we're playing Horizon. So then I started, all right, let's start getting into what games actually came out when I got the new consoles, because that's what I was saving it for. So number 3, I'll actually go back. I played this game one time, but I watched every highlight video and so much and everything. Fall Guys was so much fun to watch on Twitter. Just people posting like 30-second clips of what's going on. I was laughing my ass off.
We
Every
needed
time I
Fall
was
Guys
watching
more
it.
than people understand
Yeah,
during
you know?
this time.
Honorable mention, I'll say Animal Crossing. My wife loves Animal Crossing.
That should have been
Her family bought 3 Switches to play Animal Crossing all with each other.
It got
That's
a lot of people
honorable
through
mention,
the early half of the pandemic.
Absolutely. But Fall Guys, for me, watching everyone play, like I think Fatima played one. I remember you posted of her and she was messing up. I thought it was hilarious, right? So like those fun moments, even though I barely played the game, but watching those moments and the community was bringing all the people that wanted to play it, it boomed, right? Like, that's my number 3. Number 2, I'll go Valhalla. I have not played an Assassin's Creed game since the second one. And so going back to this, I was so excited to play Ghost of Tsushima, but I wanted to play it on a PS5. So
that's fair.
Whenever Xbox, Series X came out, I got Valhalla to play. I think I put in 20 hours even before I got to the title sequence. Like I wanted to do everything, right? I'm just leveling up my character. Like I right now, because Cyberpunk came out, I stopped before I built anything on my in my village, just so I can just raid and just start building everything up. So I'm not even that far, but I've put in over 20 hours in the game, just randomly killing things and just going through every side quest. I'm at like a level like 20 or 30, and I'm trying to kill like those level 90 knights, like because I've gotten all the extra skills and stuff. So I'm just trying to plow through. Like I'm really, really enjoying the game, and I want to get back to it, but there's so much stuff to play, right? So I'll get back to it. Number 1, though, I know Rob touched on it. I really like Miles so much. It's my number 1. So I love Spider-Man. I want, just like you guys were talking about with Final Fantasy, I wanted more. And when they showed that Miles trailer, I was like, I don't even have to wait 4 months for this game. I'm going to be able to plow right into it, right? When I got the PS5. So I loved it. I thought the first moment where it felt so different was when they start playing Miles music instead of just regular Spider-Man music. That bass, when it pumps in, and you're just like, whoa, this is so different from the original Spider-Man. Like I felt that right away. I liked Miles' story so much. I thought the acting was all good. It's probably not going to be as strong as The Last of Us 2 or anything like that, but I thought the acting was really good.
Different things.
Absolutely. But for like an action adventure, my first game on PS5, like I will always remember it. Everything you like about Spider-Man, it is upgraded to this game. And so it's just that game on steroids. And again, I always talk about this, but being a dad, I don't have, I put 20 hours into Valhalla. I wish I was done with it. Right?
Yeah.
Being able to play Miles for 8 to 10 hours and be done with it and feel accomplished. I wish there was shorter games with as much as they put into Miles.
I think of me, like you said, like upgraded Spider-Man, not only updated but tightened, right? Like there's upgrades you can get, but it's tighter. Everything's a little tighter. Everything you get upgraded, it feels like you want to use it, not just things you upgrade and it's like, I don't even touch that gadget. I don't even do this. Like you got your 4 gadgets, you got your 4, like everything you get is usable. It's you're using it constantly. It's fun to play with. It's a tight experience. It's a fast experience. It's what, again, I think you as a dad and me, like, all of us as people who are losing time every day, right? Like Rob, I think I saw an awesome tweet. Time is our most valuable currency. I love that tweet. It is. People don't view it that way, but it's a currency and it's our most valuable one. And when games can tighten it up and give you more bang for your minute, not bang for your buck, but bang for your minute.
Yeah.
I'll take that over bang for my buck every day.
I'll pay $50 for an experience that I can get through and I feel accomplished and it looked great. It played great. Like I have no complaints about it being $50 because it's something that I can do, and it's something that I can still spend time with my kids and my wife and not feel like I'm, neglecting them or anything like that. So I love it. It's number 1 for me.
All right, before we move on, I got to give my honorable mention. And I didn't say it when Rob was going, because my one, when I said I think Amit has played this, was Valhalla. That was my honorable mention. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Truthfully, not looking back on it, I might have swapped that with Ghost of Tsushima for me personally. But another one that I really liked and this came out in September. It was supposed to come out earlier. The Mafia 1 remake. I never played the first Mafia. It was a PC only in the early 2000s. And so that's 20 years of until a remake came out, or a remaster, whatever it is. I think it's a remake, not remaster. Because Mafia 2 is one of my all-time like favorite memorable story games. Like it just feels like a mixture of like Goodfellas and Godfather, which are two of my favorite movies, like on my favorite movie list. So Mafia 1, like I was like, I don't know how much Mafia 1 is going to draw me in to like in comparison of Mafia 2, because Mafia 2, like I played that when I was 16, and that's one of the games that I will remember forever. I don't know why. Just something about the game that every mission felt like a movie to me, and like the story was deep. So like Mafia 1 really impressed me with their remake, and that's my other honorable mention. Greg, you want to give your
yeah, well, I just one thing on that. EA, you need to bring back one game. Rob knows this.
Let them know.
Godfather. Bring back the Godfather. He brought up Mafia. We need to bring back Godfather.
Godfather was
That game
ruined
was
when
awesome.
EA got it.
I
didn't
remember-
like Godfather 2.
Well, okay.
I glitched it. I beat it. Like I hopped the fence and I glitched it on accident, and it was done. Godfather 1 was good. I didn't
But
like
yeah,
2.
No, Santino, you're right. I do have a few questions. But yeah, one more honorable mention. I think it got brought up
Long live
slightly.
Titanfall.
No,
There you go.
Hades.
Yep.
Hades got a little glance over. I don't think we've
I haven't played it, so I don't.
the whole. Yeah,
I don't-
exactly. I don't think the whole crew's played it.
I actually
played
just
it.
downloaded it.
It wasn't. It wasn't my top 3, but it is a great game.
It's a good game.
It's the indie game of the year for sure. Supergiant makes awesome games. I've loved Bastion. I love Transistor. I didn't play Pyre. I wish I did. But
I
this
don't
game
even
is a
know
lot
these
of fun.
games.
A lot of fun. You finish it, you get your run through, and you want to keep going back. That deserves a shout out. I know it's probably not something that I can't wait till it comes to console. I think once more people get their hands on it, we'll all have more to say. All right. So we're going to get into the random questions. These are more focused on, 2020 as a year. We're going to do a look back. It's not your top games, but just random categories. We're going to start out with what I'm going to call the Amit list, the Titanfall recipient award,
The Titanfall
The-
recipient award.
aka the backlog game you missed but you played in 2020. And I'll start. Titanfall 2. I can't believe I missed this. Once I got the next gen, I got my Game Pass going. Titanfall 2 upgraded. Holy cow, that game was so much fun. We all missed it except for Rob, who's been carrying the torch.
Rob has been playing it since it came out.
The prince that was promised. We've needed someone to carry the torch this far. That game is so fun.
It's so good.
It's
so sad that they're not
What a
making a
great
third
It's
one.
a very short campaign, but along the way, every different mission has a variant on the gameplay. It twists it, it turns it a little bit, it keeps it super exciting and super fun. And that's the
Yeah.
backlog game I played this year that is my favorite. So if you guys want to do what was your backlog game,
I'll
you
go
played,
next
that
because mine is
the best.
mine is recent as of like this past weekend. I'm big on like shooters, especially when I stream. I just, it's easy to play. Like not everybody wants to sit around and watch somebody play a story game for 8 to 10 hours. So I usually just play Siege. But recently, we started looking into a different online game that me and my friends that play Siege play, and it's $5 on Steam right now. It's only the online edition, Red Dead Online. I did not play much of Red Dead Online on console when I had it. I played the story, phenomenal story. If you haven't played it, play it. It's exactly the same as GTA Online, but Wild Wild West, no flying cars, obviously. It's a nice like get away from playing a serious shooter, or like if you don't want a story but you want to make your own story with your friends, and just there's so much you can do to laugh. Like we've spent the last like 2 days, like 3-hour sessions just hunting animals in Red Dead. We've done bounties today. We've done missions. Like there's so much to do in there that you can get lost in hours of playing it. So for $5 on Steam right now, it doesn't come with the story. It's strictly the online edition. You know, that's what I've currently gone back to in 2020. And this is as of 5 days ago to get lost in. It was mine is Red Dead Online.
You sound like me playing Valhalla in that. Just sitting hunting for a
Yeah,
while.
that's honestly all we do.
Murdered.
We go fishing, we hunt, and we do a bounty.
And you jump on each other's horses and
Yeah,
miss.
and miss.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. Like it's like there's no expectations to it. You know what I mean? And it's like you can just play it, and it's you're having a good time for 2 hours.
It's funny because like the original Red Dead was like the precursor to GTA Online, which became this huge thing. And now it's like kind of back, and it hasn't reached its full potential, but people are loving it, so that's cool.
Yeah. Fergs, what's yours?
Yeah, mine would have to be Overcooked 2.
Yeah.
You know, it was
Yep.
like a real good family party game. We definitely were playing that almost every day at the start of the pandemic. I think it really helped my sister when she was going through it at the top of it and stuff. So it's super fun. Again, like it's on Game Pass. And like, you know, it's one of those games where like I don't think having played it now, I definitely like think it's worth the money. But like if I just saw it, I probably would have just walked past it.
Yeah.
But like giving it the time, like I'm like, oh, this is like solid. Like this is a really good, like really fun, simple, anyone can pick up type experience, and it's like a good time.
Moving Out supposed to be really good too.
Yeah, we got that too. It's like really
Is it
fun.
good? I've been wanting to try that since I saw that.
Mm-hmm. It's like super goofy, and I like
I'll check
run around
that
and
out.
smack people in the face.
Yeah.
So I already mentioned this earlier. My 2020 backlog number 3 game, Horizon. Number 2, Spider-Man. Number 1, God of War. So I hit the major players there, and I will not regret any of that. Those 3 games were phenomenal. God of War, I need that now. I know it's probably gonna get delayed. They said 2021. Ragnarok's not gonna come. It's got to be 2022. There's no way they can put it out next year.
I love this. We're gonna watch him slowly transition from Xbox to PlayStation as he
Wait,
plays his backlog,
Sidebar here, because this is my
working his
question.
way to the dark side. I love it.
I don't remember the ending of God of War, but I remember before I beat it that the talk was that was the last one, but the ending of God of War says different.
So did we all play it, or do you need
Yeah,
spoilers? So what's going
Yeah,
on?
go ahead. You can.
Spoil
Alright,
it. Yeah,
so-
we all know it.
So you find out whenever you're going through the last thing. So you beat all the bosses.
Right.
Kratos and boy Atreus, they're walking through, and you
Boy.
find out, and you find out that his actual name is Loki, right?
Yeah,
So you
I
find
do
out he's
remember
Loki.
that. I do
And
remember
then
that.
and then so you can keep playing the game. You can keep doing side missions or whatever. But if you go back home and go to sleep, and then it says like later or whatever, not that time. I forgot how many years or whatever. But you like there's like this crazy storm going outside. Kratos walks through the door, or walks
Oh, I need to
outside,
watch that. I
and
didn't know that.
Thor is waiting for him outside. So basically, and then it says, I think it's like Ragnarok is coming or something like that. So,
I've never seen that. Okay.
Yeah, you gotta watch. Yeah, it you don't, and it doesn't trigger unless you go home.
Yeah, you have to
Which
go.
I
home.
didn't
have to
do.
go
I
back
cut
to
it
the
off right
cabin.
after
Yeah.
the final scene.
Like
So-
you don't even have to do that much like post game. If you just
No.
like go
Just go
back
straight
home.
home.
Go to the cabin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it.
Okay.
So pop
It's-
it in, go
it's
back to
awesome.
the cabin.
I'll check that out. Greg, what else you got?
All right, so everyone did that one. All right, the next one, kind of pandemic focused. We're talking games maybe you played with someone else, your significant other, brother, sister. You know, what was a game, someone online, game that connected you during the pandemic?
This one's a no-brainer for me.
Go
I
for it.
was still living at my parents' house when the pandemic started up until Fatima and I got married.
Mhm.
But Fatima's mom was out of the country right before the pandemic started, so she was here alone. And I was staying here for like 2 weeks just until her mom got back, so she wasn't lonely. I was working at home from the time, and I was like the only new game at the time that was coming out. This was like that beginning portion of when games drop in the new year. So I was here, and it was like the night before, and I was also excited for it. It was a game that I had never played before, and it was Animal Crossing. And I tweeted like my friend code on my Switch. I'm like, yeah, I'm getting Animal Crossing tomorrow. Like, not sure if anybody plays this. And like, little did I know, like 20 of my friends were like big on Animal Crossing. I had no idea what I was getting into. Like, and for me, like your first maybe week of having Animal Crossing, there's so much to do because you're upgrading stuff. It feels fresh. Like every day is a new day of being able to do something. And like every day I'd wake up at like 7:15 to check the turnip prices to make my millions of dollars to sell and whatnot.
Bells.
It's like that for the hour or 2 hours, like I played Animal Crossing, like when I would wake up and play it, because obviously unless you time skip, you have to play it, like you run out of things to do essentially if you play it a normal way without time skipping. Like that was my like, there's no pandemic going on, I'm lost in a video game for 2 hours and all I can think about is Animal Crossing. Like for the first 2 months, like that was like my scapegoat in a video game for this pandemic. And I loved it. Like I loved going to people's islands. I loved designing things in my island, selling things. Like it was cool. It gave me something to look forward to every morning when I got up and I just cut on my Switch and play Animal Crossing New Horizons, what it's called.
Yep.
Yeah, New Horizon. And you know, it's I think that game, for what it is, it deserves the credit that it gets. Like it's a cute little game that you can play with your friends and family, and like especially during a time like where most people can't be around their family, like it gives you a way of like communicating. It gives you a way of doing something with your family, and like you can only get so much out of a virtual call. You can only get so much of FaceTime and stuff like that. So Animal Crossing definitely gets my pandemic 2020 fun game to play with other people.
I think the game I played most with other people would probably, I guess, when I think pandemic, I think the thing I'm playing most would probably be a lot of Warzone.
Mine
'Cause
was
it's
Siege,
like,
but memorable one was
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Rob already touched on Overcooked too.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
He touched on that being a big
Right.
one.
at the house it was Overcooked. When it came to a lot of my friends online, we did a lot of Warzone. That was typically our go-to game. And then when we would do the Zoom calls and shit, we would load up Jackbox, like the Jackbox
Yeah.
booty packs and stuff. Yeah, someone would have a copy of that and they'd like screen share, and then we would all like play from our phones and just talk and stuff. So
I did that for the first
managed
time a
to
couple weeks ago.
make that
Mhm.
figure. We all had to adapt at the time, so that was probably
Right.
the most pandemic style game that I played in that time. I mean, Jackbox
That's a
game
cool
was
way to
super
do
fun.
it. I didn't think about that, like zooming
That's
and
that's
playing
what we did.
Jackbox.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Because
a lot
like
of fun.
it's such a party game in the same room.
Right.
But like that's a cool, like of course you could do it because it's just over a phone on a website.
Yeah.
That's a
Mhm.
cool
Yeah.
idea. I like
What
that.
about you and me?
Yeah, for me, Animal Crossing and that I mean, the stuff that I'm talking about is uh, getting through the days with my daughter, my 3-year-old, right? She's cooped up in a house. We bought like a bounce house for her, but that can only do so much for her.
Right.
Going outside for walks, but when she wanted to do screen time, I'm like, hey, I might be able to accomplish something here. So we did a lot of Animal Crossing,
That's
letting
awesome.
her design her own clothes. We didn't give her own house or anything. She never built that, but we never upgraded her house, so she had a tent in the backyard of my wife's house. So that was her house. So it's kind of like we're backyard camping, So
Yeah.
that was really fun to do. And then that I talked about it before, but there's like Disneyland Adventures. That's like
You
a
did, yeah. One of our most
and
previous videos.
you just run around Disneyland, and so she got to ride all the rides and do all the stuff that that we can go to Disneyland for. So
Right.
basically it just came down to what she wanted to do, and those two games definitely got us through a lot of hours.
Yeah.
I mean, the hardcore gamers will be mad you didn't start your daughter on Ninja Gaiden on N64. But
whatever.
So I actually turned on.
I'll give you a pass.
No, so I actually turned on. I turned on Ori Will Blind Forest, and when you're going through, there's that deep voice. It's like,
Yeah.
"Ooh." So my daughter got scared, and she's like, "I don't like the deep.
I don't like this.
I don't like the deep voice game." And
My
then
niece was scared of Avatar until she was 8. I don't know why.
and then I tried to play Grounded, and then the first time a spider came, she ran out of the
hell
room.
no.
So I was like,
I'd
"All right, we're not
probably
doing
do the same.
we're not doing anything." But
Yeah,
she's
no,
still
no shot.
Still now though, she'll be like, "Can we play that insect game?" And I'm like, "No, we cannot. I'm afraid of spiders too."
Well, you can
I hate
turn
spiders.
accessibility mode. You
Yeah,
can
there's
turn
that
the spiders
arachnophobia
into like
mode.
something else. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
play
What was yours, Greg?
it. So mine was like I think you guys touched on a few of them. Warzone, the things you could play with your friends. But one thing that's fun for me was obviously pandemic. You're home. I want to be gaming, but like my wife Kelly, she could care less about games. She is not interested in gaming at all. But she does remember back when she was younger. She used to play Crash Bandicoot. So
yeah.
Crash Bandicoot 4 came out. So
Yeah.
we grabbed that, and we've been kind of doing like a pass the sticks thing. Like she plays level, I play level, because like obviously I'm way better. But
God damn
no,
it, Kelly, hurry up.
no, but it's fun because it's like, like she'll play through a level, and it's like
Right.
she's like, let me use the I wanted to use the D-pad. It's like, no, use the analog sticks. Like I'm trying to encourage her, like, hey, get used to the analog sticks, and then you'll become more comfortable with those, and then maybe like hopefully in the future, like, right, we can do Overcooked. We could do, it advances.
Yeah.
So it's kind of been fun just doing something gaming wise with
With your
her,
wife. Yeah.
and doing something like she remembers, like she used to play with her brother and her sister when they were what, in the 90s with the original Crash.
Yeah.
And your daughter's 3 of meat,
Yep.
so she gets scared at ground. Kelly gets scared at Crash, so she gets very anxious when the TNT blows up and when something drops from
Fair, me too.
So yeah, so don't feel your daughter might be even more ahead in terms of her fear reception. So
Oh, now Kelly's just catching strays.
she
Dude,
won't
I
watch
actually
this.
have I
If she
actually
does
have,
watch this, I'm in
I
trouble.
actually have a backlog for my wife to play. Like she saw the trailer for like Call of the Sea or Call of the Sea that's on Game Pass right now. It's like a 5-hour game with puzzles. She wants to play that. She wants to play Tell Me Why, and she wants to play Immortals Phoenix Rising.
Man, you guys are way better husbands than me. I don't want Fatima near any of my video games life. She can stay in the bedroom and watch Grey's Anatomy for 12 hours. All I care.
Oh.
I'm trying to play video games with my
I have
buddies.
I have three
Forget that.
Xboxes around my house. I have an
I can
original
have
one,
12
a
Xboxes. I
One
don't
X.
want her on any of them.
Santino,
No
we need to
chance.
connect because Kelly watches Grays weekly. So
Oh.
maybe we can get an hour of game time between the two of us.
No,
while they
I've
watch
been
Grays.
suckered in to watch Grey's the last like 2 weeks with her, so now I got no choice.
I'm so sorry. I'll pour one out for you.
Yeah, man. Anyways,
I watched
Greg,
The Bachelor, so
yeah, that's tough, bro. That's tough. Anyways, do you have one more, Greg, or do you guys want to do a quick round of what Rob had pulled up?
One more quick one. This is a quick one, but just what we're
probably
thankful
end on
for,
this one, too,
an
since-
idea. 2020 pandemic, everything. Like, I'll start just like the idea I'm going for, but I think like even though we've been trapped inside, we've had all these shitty things happen this year. One thing that was pretty cool was probably I turned more to Twitch. I saw, and Twitter, and between the two of them, I bumped in Santino's online. He's doing his stuff, and hey, I pop in the chat. Actually, I think the first time was rest in peace Kobe, but like I sent him a text.
They're just playing Warzone or something.
Yeah, and it was just like we connected again, and I feel like the pandemic has been kind of like that, where it's like you're kind of connecting more with people. You're finding different avenues to reach out, and it was very cool to reconnect with you, Santino, but also like if it wasn't for that, I would have met Rob, Amit. Not that it's just cool to know you guys, and I mean we text almost daily just about the nerdy shit we see online and stuff like that. But it's been a great experience. So I just want to be.
Damn, I didn't know Greg was gonna make me cry at the end of this. Damn.
Thankful for that in this shitty year.
Wow, now I'm shook. Yeah, no, pandemic definitely. I've made a lot of new friends, but like with Greg, it's nice to connect with an old friend. Like me and Greg, like in 6th grade, were like best friends. You couldn't split us up. All we did was joke around. Like when he transferred to our grade school, like I remember like being one of the first people to like introduce myself, and from there, like you couldn't like move us apart.
And that shit meant the world, man. I'm not kidding.
Well, now I'm really gonna cry. Anyways, and like you go to high school, you don't talk to people anymore. We went to different high schools. We didn't go to the same college, and like, what is it? 8 years later, and we're back to talking every day. So I can't wait till the pandemic ends to like shake Greg's hand, give him a hug, and like, yeah, man, it's been 10 years. But
our wives can meet. That's crazy.
Yeah, they can hang out, and we can hang out forever. So we can do that. But piggybacking off Greg's, like, yeah, I'm very thankful. There's a lot of good that came out of a very bad year. Just being able to do this with you guys. I've made so many new friends on the internet, video games wise. I feel, even though I'm not like directly with them, I feel closer to my family. So it's same as Greg. It's been really nice to communicate with people I haven't in years and make new friends that I talk to daily. Fergs, you're up.
Oh wow, man! Oh man,
Yeah, I'm in my feelings right now. This is Greg's fault.
Yeah,
Oh.
It's like
I'm
for
not
my
gonna
last
cry. I
question,
swear I might.
we're
If I
gonna
keep talking,
cry
I might.
together.
Yeah.
Nah, man, you guys, have pretty much made the points. I think this year, a lot of times we're all caught in our own world, and I think this year more than any year that I've been alive, at least, I feel like on a lot of fronts we can say that we're all experiencing like a universal experience, like we're all going through the same thing at the same time in real time. And so I definitely feel like I felt closer to a lot of people despite being separated because of that, because we do have that mutual bond and struggle and bond in this experience, and we've had to find the things that are common ground. We had to make ways to connect, whether it be stuff like this, a hobby like video gaming that like like gives us so many opportunities to connect, to have conversations about things. It's been really great to explore those things and to still stay connected and close despite the circumstances. And I think that's a powerful thing that we have accomplished this year. You know what I'm saying?
Amit, your final thought on this topic?
Man, so I think Soul, the movie, did it best. Where that movie seems like, why are they going from one place to another, to another, to another? But the purpose of that movie was the little things that you think aren't a big deal can be a big deal to someone, because it could be the first time they're experiencing it, which it's not really spoilers for the movie, but like it makes you stop and think of the little things, like the first bite of pizza that you had, or the first time you
impacted someone's life,
and so
yeah,
because we've been contained in this pandemic, it makes you appreciate those little things that you're able to do and what we used to do all the time, right? I think the first time that, when this whole thing is over, once we're able to do something again, we're gonna be like, man, I can't believe I'm able to do this again, right? It's gonna be like the first time again. And I think this whole pandemic sucked, but we're going to, I think, be more appreciative once we get out of it. And I know I am, for sure. I hope people don't forget this situation, and they do carry on, being nice to one another, because who knows the next time you're going to talk to them, right? You might not talk to them for 8 years, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
But like the little things in life matter, and just take a little, don't take them for granted in the future. I don't think any of us will. And so it's a huge thing.
So I think we can close on a great question that Greg has given us. Thank you, Greg. This has been the Way Better NPCs. Thank you for watching, guys. As always, it's good talking to you. We will talk soon.
A better 2021.
No, because our first video is Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
So
first video in 2021 will be Cyberpunk.
Start on a bright note.
We're gonna start it on a very bright note on a wonderful game that deserves the 2020 late game of the year. Psych. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys soon. Love you guys. It was fun as always. Peace.
See you soon, boys.